Hello, in this video I'm going to tell apart single sum problems and annuity problems. But before I start, I will just mention that under both cases, single sum and annuity, the interest is compounding, meaning every time the interest is computed, it gets added in the principal. Alright, so I'll start. So for single sum, we know this already. We will know that it is a single sum problem if there is only one cash flow involved. So for single sum, one cash flow, one CF, and the CF can be placed either at the beginning or at the end, depending on the problem. If the cash flow is given at the beginning, normally you will be tasked to compute the future value because you are given the present value. And on the other hand, if the cash flow is given at the end, you may be tasked to compute the present value because you have already the future value. So for single sum problems, this is usually the setup. Cash flow may be given at the beginning or at the end, and then you will be tasked to compute either the future value or the present value. So that's single sum, and we pretty much know this already. Now let's have the annuity, and this is a new one. You will know that the problem is an annuity problem if you are given at least two cash flows. So minimum of two, and you can have as many cash flows as you want. And then the cash flows right here should be two things. Number one, the cash flows should be equal in amount. And number two, the cash flows should be equal in terms of interval. So for example, you are receiving or you are paying 100 pesos per year for, let's say, 5 years. So if the setup is like this, 100 peso per year for 5 years, the cash flows are equal. Like it's 100 every time. And then it is also equal in interval because you will be getting it or you will be paying it, depending on the problem, every year. Another example is, say, 50 pesos every 6 months for 2 years. So same case, you will be paying 50 pesos consistently, and it will be equal in interval also because you will be doing it every 6 months. Alright, so that's the setup for annuity. Again, the setup for annuity is you need to have at least two cash flows, and the cash flow should be number one, equal in amount, and number two, equal in interval. And then to add, annuity is classified into two. We have the ordinary annuity and the annuity due. So what's the difference between these two? So the difference lies in the timing, because under ordinary annuity, the payment or collection, depending on the problem, happens at year end. While for annuity due, the payment or collection happens at the beginning of the year. So that's the difference. And to illustrate, let's try to use this example. 100 peso per year for 5 years. So I'll be writing the timeline. So if the setup is ordinary annuity, the payment or collection will happen at the end. So you will not be getting or paying something at time 0. It will happen at time 1. So you will be seeing the cash flows here, 1, time 2, time 3, time 4, and then time 5. The very first payment right here, this one, will be payment from time 0 to time 1. And then for this one, time 1 to time 2. This one, time 2 to time 3. And so on. So that is the setup if the annuity is an ordinary annuity. The payment or collection will happen at year end. Now, what if the case is an annuity due? So let's still use the same example, 100 peso per year for 5 years. So in this case, the payment or collection will happen at the beginning. So meaning, at times 0, right away, you will be collecting or you will be paying the money. So you will be seeing the 100 here to represent payment from time 0 to time 1. And then you will have another 100 again at time 1 to represent payment from time 1 to time 2. And so on. So it should be 5 payments. So that's the difference between ordinary annuity and annuity due. It's just with the timing. Computation-wise, they will be different given the difference in the setup. So in subsequent videos, I will talk about present value ordinary annuity, future value ordinary annuity, present value annuity due, and then future value annuity due. And that's it for this video.